Perhaps you're familiar with that tedious situation where you travel around the world collecting all sorts of things and return with an inventory full of various items, which you then manually sort into different chests according to their types, wasting a lot of time in the process. However, that could easily come to an end if you manage to acquire the most elusive materials for our new, simple storage system, slime balls and blow dust. Next, we'll need to craft these items: a storage terminal, at least 2 logic cables, and item interfaces. In the video description, you'll find a guide on how to make a block of crystallized mineral, from which the basic and essential components of this mod are crafted. Now, let's put it all together. We'll attach an interface to each chest, which serves as a means to deposit and withdraw items. We'll connect these interfaces using logic cables, creating a network onto which we just need to attach a storage terminal. Using it, we gain access to the entire system. Simply switch to the Item Storage tab in its GUI, and we can immediately try how to insert and retrieve specific items. The appearance of this GUI is similar to those of other mods with storage systems. The number at the bottom displays the current number of inserted items and the maximum capacity. We can search for items using this field, which can be activated not only by clicking but also with a hotkey that can be customized. We can then search for items in several ways. The first is the classic method, by text contained in the item's name. So, when you type axe, it will find not only an axe but also a pickaxe or a paxel. Just like in the JEI mod, we can search for items by mod using the @ symbol. We can also search for items by item tags, which you can activate in the game with the F3+H combination. Now, if we want to find all types of planks, we type the $symbol and start typing. The last search method involves the text in the tooltip. So, we type the #symbol, right damage, and it will show us not only items that deal damage but also potions related to it. Lastly, these search methods can be combined, so we can quickly find all planks from the Botania mod, for example. There is also a search using variable cards, which can help us find hard-to-locate items based on various attributes. Let's give it a try. Prepare an empty variable card and a logic programmer. In the logic programmer, select the operator item and enter item as fuel. Write this to the card and insert it into the terminal. We see that only flammable items are displayed, so everything is working as it should. Now I'll show you my method for discovering the magic phrase item as fuel. This is one operator from the logic programmer that had to meet certain conditions for the input and output types to be used in the terminal. Therefore, we use the bottom filter, which is specifically designed for this. The input type must be item, so write any item to the card. The second card needs to have a Boolean type value, as it is a required output type. Now we have a list of candidates that we might be able to use. The problem is that many of them include input type 2 and, in addition to that item type, also have the any type. Therefore, only operators that look exactly like this are suitable. Unfortunately, there are not many of them, and if there happen to be more, please add them in the comments. Next to the search field, we can switch between interface channels. As you can see, we currently only have the zeroth channel, so nothing is happening. Let's change the value of one of the item interfaces to 1. Save it by clicking the Save button and return to the terminal. Now we have 2 channels, which means we have separated the chests. This can be useful if we have devices connected to certain containers in the network, allowing us to easily supply the necessary materials to one channel while putting the rest into another channel. On the left side, we will find useful buttons where the first one is used to sort items by item name, then by item ID, and item amount. Moving to the next filter, which currently isn't working, since it's the last one, let me introduce an additional powerful function allowing automated crafting, to get this filter operational. We'll need a crafting interface and a crafting station, such as a crafting table, to bind to it. Using a logic programmer, we'll create a recipe in an empty variable card, for example, for a stick. If you also use the JEI mod, you have a great advantage because it simplifies this process. Next, insert the recipe card into the crafting interface, and if our storage system has enough materials, production can begin. It's also beneficial to connect a crafting job terminal to the network for managing jobs, including canceling all jobs. In the future, you may encounter issues with automated processing, so I'll show you how to make something like an iron ingot in a furnace. It's crucial to place the crafting interface above it, with an item importer below and item exporter on the sides or rear. We will also insert empty cards into the first row of both the importer and exporter. After that, all that remains is to create the recipe. Now everything works similarly to crafting a stick. Additionally, the crafting filter has been functioning for some time now. Beneath it, there's a grid size button for adjusting the grid size according to several preset sizes. The last button is the JEI Search Sync, which can be useful if you're using the JEI mode. This allows us to easily determine which items are in our storage system and which are not. When looking at the tabs above, they usually separate the type of storage. You already know what item storage is. Next, we have fluid storage, which is currently empty because no interface is connected to a water tank. So, let's use a fluid storage tank from the cyclic mod and connect a fluid interface to it. Add some water and check the fluid storage status. As you can see, we have our first item. We can try the same thing with the energy storage tab. Connect a battery with an energy interface to the network. Now, we could use this storage system to power devices requiring fluids and energy. We need to clarify the item crafting tab, which is quite intuitive. It is nothing more than an integrated crafting table that allows us to use materials directly from storage while crafting personally. In the grid, we have two buttons. The first clears the grid and moves the material into storage. The second button evenly distributes the material in the grid. This is useful when you want to craft something in bulk. The same applies to the new, very useful button on the left, Auto Refill Crafting Grid, which will attempt to keep refilling the required material during crafting. When set to disabled, nothing happens. The item is crafted, but the grid is empty afterward if there wasn't enough material. However, the other settings include the words player and network, indicating where the material will be automatically refilled from if possible. In the case of both names in the state, it indicates priority, whether the system will first attempt to get the material from the player's inventory and then from the network, or vice versa. Thanks for watching. If the video helped you, give us a like and subscribe.